Um, as she told you, my name's Effie Stidham. I'm a teacher at Hazard High School. I teach U.S. history as well as freshman, sophomore, junior English. For my grant, I called it.
That's for the iPad. That's not. I'll advance for you. So.
Okay, so you don't
That's
need
just
that?
no. You need to hold it so it follows you.
Oh.
So.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
You're good.
No, I'm
We're
so
getting it. It's okay.
embarrassed. I'm
You're
so
good. No.
Okay. All right, you can advance.
Okay.
I called my grant application Effie's Eclectic Express because it encompassed many different things. The first thing I asked for was money to purchase Scrabble games for my English classes. Also, ZipGrade, which is an app for your phone, and supplies. And I'll go into all of this as we go further. No red ink, which if any of you guys teach English, especially grammar, this is the most amazing website. It individualizes and differentiates instruction, and again, I'll go into more. And also, I have a classroom set of mini iPads. I was very fortunate to get those. And one of the things that we have a problem with, and I'm sure any of you that have purchased novel sets for classrooms have experienced. One, the kids don't take care of the paperback books. Two, you always lose 2 or 3. And, you know, three years down the road, the books are in bad shape and you're having to repurchase. Well, with my mini iPads, I got grant money to purchase ebooks to put on the iPads. And now, you know, it results in there's no reading outside of class, so you have to really get inventive with ways to use them. But it's been awesome. This is just the poster that I presented in the fall that tells you all about each different thing that I got grant money for. And so I just wanted to include that to show you guys. Now, with Scrabble, I was so amazed at the response from the kids using Scrabble. I use it once every 9 weeks. I started out as a supplement for vocabulary. And we would have contests on who could make the biggest word, who could make a word, you know, Q and Z are both worth 10 points, who could get the word worth the most points. And at first, you know, they were a little reluctant, and it really amazed me because I'm older, I suppose, but a lot of kids, they were like, a board game, how do we play that? They had never played them. They had no conception of how to do it because it wasn't on their phone. After we played the first couple of times, it became a reward. It became, Miss Stidham, can we play? Let us play Scrabble today. Oh, come on, we've worked really hard this week. And so it actually turned into wonderful learning. And I have a few pictures of them playing that I'd like to show you. And you can see they're all sitting there with their dictionaries, and they're, you know, trying to look up new words and challenging one another also. Because they would, oh, Miss Stidham, come over here, this isn't a word, is it? But I've been really pleased with Scrabble. Okay, ZipGrade. Regardless of whether you have an iPhone or an Android, ZipGrade is an app that allows you to create quizzes. They're multiple choice, and what I've done, I've printed out one sheet. This first sheet shows you that after you have graded all quizzes, and what you do, you simply take your phone, and if you'll flip the page over, I've included copies of the answer sheets that the kids use. And you can set up a 20-question quiz, a 50-question quiz, or a 100-question quiz. And you walk around with your phone or your iPad and you line up the dots and you take a picture of it and it grades it instantly and it tells you what the score is and it tells you what questions they answered correctly or incorrectly. And now this is just the first printout of the zip grade, one of the, when you review the test item. And as you can see on the score sheet, there is a place for the student to handwrite their name. And so the first thing you get is the roster and their score. But also on ZipGrade, you will get a screen that tells you question by question what percentage of your class answered the question correctly. So I know if, my general rule is if 25% of my class miss a question, I've done something wrong, I haven't, and I need to go back over it. And ZipGrade allows me to do that instantly. Instead of, 2 days later after I've graded the test and the opportune teachable moment has passed. Now what I also did with ZipGrade, these sheets you can print off the internet for free. But I learned actually through a YouTube video that you can laminate these sheets, and I meant to bring one with me and I did not, I apologize. But you can laminate these answer sheets. And they can answer the sheet with a pen or a pencil or a crayon, it doesn't matter. So if you laminate them and you get dry erase markers and give to the kids, you can use them over and over and over and over. So part of the grant was not only the ZipGrade app itself is just $9, okay? But I got a laminating machine and supplies for my laminating, okay? No red ink. No Red Ink is the grammar site that I briefly mentioned. It's absolutely wonderful. What No Red Ink does, it teaches grammar, and it allows me to go in and set up different classes. And I enter, and I'm pretty certain that I included, I think, this page. Here is a sample from one of my classes. You input your roster. And what No Red Ink does, first it gives you a username and a temporary password for each of your kids. And then your kids can go in if they want and change and make their own password, which I kept a copy of their passwords because we forget things sometimes. But what No Red Ink does is the first thing the kids have to do is take an interest survey. And it asks them questions like, who are your favorite celebrities? What is your favorite music? What is your favorite song? Who is your favorite NFL player, NBA player? All this kind of thing. It even asks for the names of up to 4 friends and up to 2 pets. And so, for example, if I have an assignment on concrete nouns, each student has to answer the same type of questions and identify the concrete nouns. But my questions may have something to do with Adam Levine, while, John's questions beside me may have something to do with Blake Shelton. And, Ann's questions on the other side may be about Katy Perry. So and it's what they're interested in, or it may be about their best friend. Okay, I've talked too much. And I can choose how many questions I want them to be asked over each assignment. And after I create the assignments, then I create a pretest. And I shouldn't say I create because it's not time intensive at all. I just go in and I click how many questions I want, and I want a pretest, and then I want a test. And this is what the first screen will look like, and they go to Mrs. Stidham, and then they'll hit the drop-down arrow, and they choose my class. But now, what this does, here, this is a screen, and it shows me which kids have started the assignment, if they've completed the assignment, or if they're still in the process of the assignment. And I wanted you guys to see this because what these check marks are, it's an indication that that they have answered these questions. Now, the yellow box, I don't think you can see, but in the yellow box will be a number, and it will tell the teacher how many times it took that person to answer that question before they got it right. And now, No Ready will not let them move on to the next question until they get the one they're on correct. And when I click on the arrow, on the yellow box, a drop-down menu will come up and it will list each question that they were given on concrete nouns that they missed and how many times it took them to get the question. But the question will change each time. The sentence will change. So, and then, this is on my screen. On the student's screen, when they miss a question, a little box will come up and it will say tips or hint or rule. And the student can click on the box and the rule regarding concrete nouns will pop up so they can reread the rule. So it's just a constant reinforcement. And I can set the time period, like I say, you have to have 3 of these assignments completed by April 21st. And so they can do it at their own pace. And they can also, they don't have to be at school to do this. All they have to have is an internet connection. They go to No Red Ink and they go to my name and their class and then their name. And they can do it from their car on their phone if they want. And this is just some pictures of one of my classes using the iPads. Well, those were tablets before I got the iPads to do No Red Ink. Okay, ebooks. I told you guys that why I wanted ebooks because we kept losing so many, and I kept having to. 1 minute. Oh, okay. I've got to pick it up. Okay, just zip on through because the most exciting thing is in the end. All right, Blogster was not part of my grant, but I had some money left over because No Red Ink. Am I at the end? Okay. Anyway, I used extra money to get Blogster for a year, and I've included, guys, a parental permission letter that you get from the website. What Blogster does is it allows students to create digital posters. They can embed video. I have included for you guys 3 different assignments that I've done on Blogster with rubrics on the back. And in a nutshell, this grant has been awesome for my classroom. It has really transformed my class into an exciting place to be. Thank you.
Thank you.